everybody has something to say, everybody have something in their mind to convey, everybody have some feelings to convey to people, right? Some ideology, or maybe like they have some nice information, or maybe like they have something, some very innovative ideas which needs to be put in on the table, right? So all problem is like when you face people looking at you, you feel so like light, like in thinking like oh my god, what am I going to do, what are they going to think, what is going to happen, like if I say something wrong, if I say something pronunciation wrong. So you start thinking all these things, like you start thinking all the negative part, and you're going to think about like the way you look like, the way you sound like, the way you pronounce, the way you use the sentence, the kind of content you're going to talk. So these all things comes in your mind, like what if I put it something wrong and people laugh at me, what if I say something like not sounding good and looking for very funny or sounding very funny, and what if the people react laughing at me, and how is that I'm going to face the things, how is that I'm going to face the consequences, and that after that moment, like I need to show my face to all the people when I roam around here and there in the meeting, right? So how is that I'm going to face? So this is what you think starting first. You forget about your innovation ideas, you forget about your thought process, you forget about the ideology, you forget about the content what you have, the very information content, the content what you're going to put it and going to help people. You're not thinking about how your content is going to impact on people. You're not thinking about how your content or your speech is going to like make changes in their lives. You don't know what is going to happen and how many people are going to get ignited with your thought process. So you're not thinking about the positive side, you're thinking about the negative side. And this is what first needs to be changed, simple it is. And when you are supposed to come to the stage and you are supposed to come and give some information to the people to make to make a mindset, you have to make a mindset, yes, I need to talk, right? I need to put in some information to the people. I am supposed to go there and talk because I'm in a reputed place where I got a opportunity where I need to go on the stage, they're going to call me for sure, so I'm going to talk. Yeah, so you need to be prepared for that. So this is what we are going to talk about, how to become a good speaker. That is very important topic what we're going to talk. I'm going to give you a lot of information, a lot of valuable information here. So where this informations which I'm going to share, it's going to be like one of the most important topics which I'm going to talk about here. So I request everybody to keep a notepad with you, notepad and a pen with you. So write down all the pointers. This is gonna help you a lot. And as being a business entrepreneur, being a speaker is very important. Maybe you are a speaker already, but understand how well you can create an impact on people when you speak, or you're going for a business presentation, or maybe like you're going for going with an approach with your to your client. And how is that gonna impact, how is that is gonna give results, how is that is gonna give some conversion? That's very important. And how you can develop that within you, that being a speaker, or maybe like being an very good conveyor. So these all are very important. So we are going to talk about all this in detail in topic. So please make sure you keep your notepad and pen ready. And we have a couple of world-class leaders will be coming in, and we also have Dr. Rao sitting here from USA, where he will also be sharing some of the valuable information. So first, I'll be going through some of the details. So please make sure you write in all these things. So they get nervous just talking, like just talking about the speech they have to give, right? The first thing, sir, I'm so nervous, I'm so nervous, I can't do it. And this is what the first thing what they're going to say. So don't use this kind of words like I am nervous. Don't use that. The moment when you say I'm nervous, you are going to be nervous for sure, because your mind is taking that. So it's very important, like some people have difficulties unzipping their talent. They are so nervous, they say like I'm so nervous to put in my information on the table. So this is what they're going to say. For those who struggle with how to improve their public speaking skills, believe me, like, that everyone can not only flourish their public speaking skills from the moment when you're going through this session today, but I'm gonna tell you, like, you're gonna actually come to enjoy it the moment when you get to know how exactly I can become a public speaker by following few methods. So I'm telling you, like, you're just not gonna learn something, but you're gonna enjoy it being a public speaker. That is what it's gonna be. So I did that, and it's happened to me, and it's definitely going to happen to you also. So all it matters is, like, just you need to write down on the book and go through it once again, and if possible, please go through this session once again. That will really benefit you. How to become a public speaker. To put it simple, okay, improving one's public speaking skills takes a focus on confidence. So until unless you don't develop that confidence, nothing is going to happen. And how this confidence is going to come? So how can I build that confidence? How can I get that confidence to be a public speaker? So the very important thing comes is practice help build it. So practice can help you and build it. You have to build yourself that to make sure that I'm going to practice it, right? And content. So what is this, like, what is the content you have in your mind when you want to say something, you want to tell it out something, or you want to convey some information to the people. Okay, so content is important. When you have your content in your mind and you know about the subject, so that gives you a path where you allow yourself to practice. The moment when you start practicing it, you build confidence within you, and then the focus comes. Yes, I know what supposed to talk. I know what is there in my mind. I know the content, and I'm sure my audience is gonna love it, like it, and they're gonna get benefited. So when you know the content, automatically you allow yourself to practice, and when you practice, the confidence builds. So that is when the focus comes, right? So this is the very first thing which you're gonna allow yourself to get prepared to be a public speaker. These are very basic things. It must be tailored to audience. See, your content has to be tailored for specially made for your audience. And then delivery. You deliver it. Think about how you say and what words you're gonna use, how they will be perceived. So what are the words you're gonna use? What are the sentence you're gonna use? How what exactly the intonation pattern you're gonna use? So these all are very important, right? How it's gonna sound. So when I said practice, so you're gonna practice by your own, like, you're gonna record your video with audio. Why video? It shows how you look, how you handle things, how you look like, what is your body language, how is your intonation pattern sounding like, right? So how is that you are gonna stress few of the words? How is that you take a pause on some time, right? You take a breath, you take breath sometime, right? You take a breath. How is that sounding? So this is very important. How do you look? Your style is matters. Your style is also very important. When people looking at you, you should create that, people should really get attracted to looking at you. So you need to see how you look yourself first. If you're not liking the way you're looking, the way you're using the styles, the way you're using the body language, the way you are talking, the intonation pattern, the sounding, the sound which is gonna be soft sometime, or maybe, like, sometime you need to roar, sometime you need to politely, like, you need to talk on some sentence. So these all patterns comes in. So how you are handling this, you record yourself. So when you record, you will see some of the mistakes, and when you see these mistakes and you realize this is from mistakes, then you're gonna make a second video, and where when you got to know this is a mistake, you avoid doing that mistakes. And when the second video you see and most of the mistakes are avoided, now the confidence builds automatically. You will get the belief on the content what you're gonna speak. right? So this is very important. So whenever you make a video of yourself when you're talking something, make sure you listen to it once, twice, thrice, until unless you find some mistakes in that, and then make a second video, third video. You see there will be a lot of development. Nervousness, there is no place for that. It's gone, because you already attempt yourself, to make a video, and you got to know some of the mistakes what you have done. So now very important things comes, before you be a public speaker and put it across your thought process to the people, you need to know who is your audience, what is their purpose. Please write down, this is the very first point you need to write down, as marking it as important. Know your audience and purpose. Write down on the notepad right now. Write down. So you need to know, the first thing comes into mind, when it comes to a public speaking. Focus focuses on your early preparation. So that I've told you, what is the early preparation. If you are coming as a public speaker for the first time, you need to do all the fine tuning on yourself, like what has to be done to allow yourself to come to the stage and talk. I've told you everything in detail, right, so far. So these are the things which you have to do first. And then here comes, know your audience and the purpose. Before even you craft your speech or a presentation, you need to understand two important related things, that is your know your audience. So let us talk about know your audience first, right? And then we come to the purpose. Is it your audience are friendly or indifferent? Question yourself, try to analyze yourself first. Who is this audience, where are you going, which place you're going, for what event you're going, right? So understand, to know and understand your audience first. What are the basic demographics? Your audience basic demographics, you have to understand their age group, their gender, their education, their profession. Are you meeting the business entrepreneurs from a different industries? Are you meeting a women entrepreneurs? Are you meeting some association or some NGOs, some doctors, or more crowd on somewhere where only doctors are there related to health oriented? Or there is something people who are into some kind of industrialists where you have a lot of employees there instead of business entrepreneurs. Or there are people who are students who want to be motivated. So understand what is your demographics, what is your audience demographics. So if there are young people, young generations more, so there is something they are coming in to get motivated or learn something new. So give them something valuable information which can motivate them. And if you see, particularly the women are more, what is they're looking for? So think about those things, right? So that's very important. You need to know, the very important thing is to know the demographics. So once you know the audience, what are the crowd is about, so you make your mindset this is what I'm going to talk. You talk things to the wrong audience, that doesn't convey anything. There is no any fun. There is no anything joy, right? People, they vanish automatically from there. So you need to understand, the very first thing is know your audience. Now you need to understand, I'm giving information to the right audience, the right things what they're looking for. So this is something, don't assume people have your point of view. Don't assume, people have your point of view. So don't do that. So don't think about it. So you need to understand your crowd is that, what is the quality of crowd and what is that they're looking for. So once you know your audience, that is important. Now then comes the second thing, that is purpose. Know your purpose of your audience, what is the purpose. Are you supposed to inform or pursue the audience? Or maybe entertainment is your mission, or maybe upskilling is your mission, or maybe by helping them to learn something new subject, or maybe your mission is to teach them something, right? Or convey something to get some good response and good results. So this is a very important thing. You need to understand the purpose first. How do you want to make your audience feel? Know your purpose. Do you understand this question? Write down if you want this question. Like, you need to question yourself. How do you want to make your audience feel? So write down this. Do you want them to feel conflicted? Do you want them to be confused? Do you want them to be inspired? Do you want them to be motivated? Do you want them to be upskilled? Do you want them to learn something new? Do you want them to learn something innovation things which you have in your mind? So this is the purpose which you need to decide first. So when you put in all this question yourself, if possible, please write down all these questions. And when you question yourself, you will get to know what is your purpose before you go to your front of your audience. So this purpose is very important. So like I said, know your audience and the purpose. I've told you to know your audience. The demographics is very important. So you have to make sure your demographics are perfect, and then comes the purpose. I hope this is the first point. Know your audience and know your purpose is the very first point. I think you people have written it, and you people have written it in detail about the audience and the purpose. Now the second point. Please write down the second point is tell a story. Write down, make a underline, make it bold or something circle. This is very important. Tell a story. So we have listened to our grandma's stories, right? Our grandmothers saying stories, our known people telling stories. Some people they say story, we never forget them because the way they say the story, we can see, we can visualize it, we can picturize it in our mind. When they're talking, when they're saying with the flow, we can go with the picturization, the visualization. When grandmother is saying there was a big forest, you will imagine the big forest in your mind. And inside the very big forest, there is one big elephant. You imagine a big elephant in your mind. And you say, front of the big elephant, there was a very small donkey sitting in. And very scared and shivering his legs and very difficult to move from there. So when it's been said in a proper way, in a proper manner, in a proper intonation pattern, with the stressing on a few places, big forest, very big forest. So when you say this, the mind is imagining it's a very big forest. My God, yeah, it's not a normal forest, it's a very, very big forest. Very dangerous looking elephant, very wild elephant. So you imagine it looked to very wild, very big, huge. So that is what you're going to imagine. When Angulimal story has been said, you will imagine how the Angulimal will look like, right? And Angulimal, when you have Angulimal, you know what is Anguli, right? That's a thumb. So he is the one of the Rakshas is gonna cut all people's thumb and is gonna make one a mala of it and is gonna put it in on his neck. And when it's been said in such a way, Angulimal story, so you imagine a Angulimal and where he's putting the all thumbs mala on his neck. You imagine that, right? The more is been expressed, the more is been spoke about Angulimal and described it, you're going to imagine that. So this is where I tell you, the story is very important. Tell a story. This is very important. Now I think you understand, what I'm talking about. We had Dilip Patel, I've been to Dilip Patel's the life balance sheet book launch, and the way he's been talking about some stories, and the way he's putting it across, the storytelling. So when he's speaking about some story or some examples he's going to give, I can visualize the picture. That feel should come. If someone is saying you something, someone is telling you something, you should definitely feel like some picturization of it, visualization of it. If you're not feeling that, that means that is not impactful, that is not creating. So when you're saying something or when you conveying something, and if you make it as a story and talking about it, explaining it about it, so the opposite person who's sitting, he has to feel a picturization of it, visualization of it. Automatically he has to make that mindset to get that visual. So if that is not happening, there is no fun. My friend, please understand, there is no fun. When I've been talking to Srinivas, sometimes he explains about, describes things which is there on his farm, describing things which is happening on his farm. So I can visualize it. He's been talking about there is something micro the micro food which is producing it for the goat, and he's been explaining sometime, and then later he sent me a picture. But when he explained things, the visualization what I add the same thing which was there in the picture after that he sent. So because the explanation what is done, it was amazing, it was beautiful, it was really great, impactful. So I can visualize it. So this is very important. As you figure out what to say in your speech, don't treat it like a data dump. Do you understand when I said data dump? Don't treat it like, when you want to give a speech, don't treat it as a data dump. You just need to put in all the data dumping on people. Don't do that. So when if you are an entrepreneur, you are pitching your new venture or a business or innovation idea or something like, for instance, you don't need to go on and on and on and on. Understand this. This is very important. So you need to understand about the SWOT. SWOT. Write down SWOT in a vertical. SWOT. Write in a vertical, and you need to know do the analysis of this. And what is SWOT? S stands for strengths, W stands for weaknesses, O stands for opportunities, and T stands for threats. You need to do the SWOT analysis. See this session, what we are conducting and what we are talking today, and lot of world class leaders who are going to give in lot of information on this subject. So these are the very important and essential things. See, these are the things which I've paid thousands of money to meet the world class leaders, the international world class leaders, and I pay them thousands of money, 50, 60 lakh rupees, to get all these kind of inputs. Sometimes you need to do it, right? Because even a trainer needs a training. You might have seen, train the trainer programs, workshops, train the trainer. So even trainer needs the training. Even motivator needs a motivation. Even a teacher needs a training. Teacher needs to know something. So every single day is a learning, my friend. So this is very important. SWOT analysis, strengths. You need to know your strengths. When it comes to a storytelling, I'm talking about. You need to know your strengths. You need to know your weaknesses. You need to know your opportunities, and you need to know the threats. When it comes to a storytelling, or maybe when it comes to public speaking, when you're talking about a topic, first you need to be prepared, right? You need to know the skill, you need to know the you need to know the knowledge, you need to be upskilled, you need to know what is that you are going to talk about on that particular topic. You need to study by reading books, or talking to some mentors, or talking to people, if you don't know something, directly ask Dr. Rao. He might know that, he might definitely help you out with that subject. So this is very important. You need to have some conversation. Talk to Harish. He's a world-class leader. He's a world-class speaker. He conducted thousands of workshops for thousands of people. So you need to talk to this kind of people. When you don't know something, have some conversation. You learn, upskill. So when you know that knowledge, when you upskill that, when you know the complete content, then you can go ahead and talk. So that's your strength. You know your content, what you're talking. That's your strength. The weakness. What is your weakness? The weakness is maybe you're lacking with the body language, you're lacking with the style, or maybe the movement, the intonation pattern, some weakness is there with you. So understand what's your weakness, and understand the opportunities. The moment when you got an opportunity, don't take a pause. Grab that opportunity and talk about it. Right? This is very important. And then comes to the threats. What if all of a sudden there is an interruption from audience and your flow has been killed? Now you have to start over again, right? So these all are very important things which you need to understand, right? I accept you to do a SWOT analysis. So please do the SWOT analysis. SWAT. Write down strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So this is what very important before you become a storyteller. So write down what is your weaknesses, what is your strength, what is your opportunity. Please write down all these things, and you will get to see these all things you need to know. If you don't know all these things and then you want to become a public speaker, it's not happening. You need to clear all these obstacles first. Clear everything. I've been telling you small things what is needs to be clear to become a public speaker, right? Sit back and think. Sit back, relax, think. Okay, what is my weaknesses? What is my strength? What is my opportunity? Think about it. So then it comes to a mindset like, yes, my content is so strong. I know what has to be said, what has to be spoke, and I'm going to put it across to my people. Yeah, then it like, it's going to be in a better way. Tell a story with your words. Is there a conflict? Question yourself, right? Is there a main character or a hero in the story which you need to highlight them? Or maybe like, you're talking about a business, but see, we are a business entrepreneurs, so let us talk about this. Like, if you're a business entrepreneur and you're going to talk about something innovation or maybe some topic or some subject about your business, in that, what is the main important product or maybe an ingredient? So that plays a major role. So you need to know all the benefits of that ingredient or something, like, to convey the message to the people, the end product, right? So this is very important. What is the core of your message? Understand that. You speak from your heart. That also matters, right? Hey, this gentleman is speaking from his heart, man. He's talking something from his heart. So these all are very important, right? So this is what I would say. This is what my personal feelings I'm talking about when it comes to a storytelling. So this is what you need to do. And now the third point. We have completed first point and second point. Now it's a third point. Please write down the very important thing. The third point. Write down on your notepad. The third point is practice, practice, practice. To prepare for a presentation, you need to practice, my friend. You come into the coffee connect meet. I've seen a lot of people coming into the coffee connect meet, and this time, like, when I've seen people coming in from past couple of coffee connect meet, they completed. Now the coffee connect meet, when they come, their presentation skill has been changed. It's improved a lot. The intonation pattern, the style, the body language, the eye contact. My God, amazing eye contact. They've improved a lot. They don't keep their hands in the pocket and talk. So they don't fold their hands. They don't fold their hands behind. They don't type things. They don't stand on like a pillar. They don't stand in one place. I've seen a lot of development these days. So this is very important. You need to practice. The people who have come attended Coffee Connect Meet regularly, they have practiced. They have practiced at home. They have practiced. They are considered the Coffee Connect Meet is a place where they can practice things, right? So this is very important. You need to practice, practice, practice. That's one of the most obvious tips which I can give you. So to be a public speaker, you need to practice first, right? No matter how much experience one, or like, the speakers, you already a speaker. No matter how much experience you have, when it comes to front of others, when you're talking, like, we all need to practice. It is a continuous process, my friend. Please understand. It is a very continuous process, like, to be a speaker. That process takes time. Understand this. You can't, boom, you can't become a speaker. You need to practice. How much you're practicing? What is the result you're seeing with this practice? What is the outcome you're seeing in this practice? This is very important, right? So I've told you, like, when it comes to practice, how you're going to practice, what you're going to do. Spoke about this in detail, right? So if you're coming in middle, please make sure you go through the session. Replays is on, like, you can go to the replays and you can understand how to practice. I've given more information on that. So one effective way to practice is to record yourself giving the speech and then review it. So that is a very effective thing what you can do. That is a very important thing which you can do is practice by recording a video, not an audio. If you're good, like, your style is good, your body language is good, everything, you're confident about it, then you don't need to make a video. You just need to make an audio and then review it, listen to it. How does it sound, right? What is the intonation pattern looking like? Where exactly you are stressing? My God, amazing. You are so amazing, man. What a speech you gave. See, I had stressed on amazing. There are some words you need to stress that makes a lot of impact. See, that is why I'm explaining that. That is why I'm saying that out to you, right? So this is very important. Like, you need to know where to stress, which word to stress, where to keep a pause. So this is all a very important. You need to do that, right? Now, like you're like you need to understand, like once you're reviewing it, like you need to know some of the mistake, you need to identify some of the mistakes what's happening, so that you'll not repeat that mistake. I've told this in detail before. Okay. So I suggest, like listening to it, and like not only watching it. If it's a video, don't watch it, listen to it. Okay, so if you watch it, if you want to know, like how do you look like, the body language and everything, like the eye contact and all, like how you do the movement of your head or handshake or legs and everything, like that. So don't do Bharatanatyam, don't dance, like even body language also has to be limited, like sometimes body language also, it should not be too much. It looks fun, people they see and laugh at you, so that should not happen. See, Raghavendra said, you need to do body language, so let me shake my hands there, right, left and up. Don't do that. So make a practice, like make a looking good, like it has to be good. So that's very important. So for the sake of, like you need to do body language, you walk right and left and left and right, that is not at all good. So you need to know how much, like measurement, you need to know how much I need to do what. Too much is too bad. Right. I hope you enjoying that. Right, so that is very important. Now the fourth point, please write down on your notebook. Fourth point, write down, bold, like make underline, like make some marks or something. It's very important. Fine tune the delivery. This is the fourth point. So I have only another two more points, or two or three points. That's all. I'm going to end this with my information what I'm going to give, and later part we can go with Ganesh ji, we can go with Dr. Rao, Mahantesh ji is there, Arish is there. Very importantly, like there's all a world class speakers where they can give a lot of information, and we have a couple of people in the speaker panel, so you can feel free to come. And I see Mark coming in here, so I'll be finishing it up another three four. Topics which is very important. So now comes, like the fourth point, fine tune the delivery. As you practice and, as you practice and grow more comfortable with the presentation, you can fine tune your delivery. Are you making eye contact with your audience? Are you using your hands and gesture and emphasize your point, right? How is the tone, like how is the tone, like how is your volume level, your voice, that is also matters, right? That is also important. All of those coupled together to make a stronger presentation, my friend. Yeah, it is all are, like it's together. Eventually, the more you practice, the more you focus on individual words and phrases. Do you need to speed up? You need to know that. Do you need to speed up, or do you need to slow down? This is very important when it comes to a sentence. When you're making a sentence, putting it across, is it going so fast, or is it too loud, or is it in a proper way, intonation pattern? All these things are very important. So you question this up, like by listening to your own voice. Record it tonight, today, like whenever you're free, tonight, like whenever you're free, like whatever the time you're free, like make sure you record your presentation, the approach. Maybe, like you come in to introduce yourself and represent your business on Sunday and Monday at night at 8 p.m., right? So please make sure you record yours, or you already given that speech, go to the replays and listen to it, see how it works, how it looks like, how it sounds like. This is very important. So we want our voice to convey how it feels about the topic. This is the fine tune. You need to fine tune the delivery. So you're delivering something from your thought process. When you're delivering things, you need to know how is this delivery. Someone is delivering the food. Quality of the delivery is important, right? So the same way, like the quality of your delivering your sentences, your voice, your thought process, how you conveying your storytelling. So this delivery, fine tune your delivery, how it's coming out of your mouth, how is that your body language is looking like. So deliver in a proper manner. So fine tune it. So that is what I'm talking about. Speakers should think about themselves as a conductor. You need to think about you as a conductor when it comes to as being a speaker. You are a conductor. Okay. Make the speeches ebb and flow. Build and abate. Roar and soften like a symphony. Understand this. You need to know, like where I need to slow down, where I need to speak more, or where I need to stress. So I was talking about this in detail before, right? So the same thing which you need to implement, intonation pattern and all these things. How do you look like, how do you sound? This is the fine tune. Now it comes to the fifth point. Let us talk to the fifth point. So please write down, and it's very important on your notepad. Write down, it's a fifth point. Take a breath. You may have practiced, you might practiced a lot, and you're fine tuned, and you're fine tuned your presentation also. But when it comes to a public speaking, still it takes, has a stand in a front of an audience. It's very important in the moment, slow down, speak short, speak short sentences, and take a breath. Take a breath. This taking breath, that moment is there, no, that's magic. I'm doing that today when I'm talking to you. I'm taking breath, and that taking breath is making wonders. The thought process will improve. Some innovation idea comes in, when you're taking breath, you gave a pause for microseconds for your mind, your brain is doing some research in just microseconds and coming up with a great idea, and that idea is coming out of your mouth. Allow these nerves to settle down. Right? So people, they talk like, but they talk, when you don't allow yourself to take a breath, or you don't allow yourself to, let that nerves, that hot nerves, running points, settle down. You don't allow to nerves to settle down. Like, what are you going to achieve there? Are you holding a machine gun on a stage? Are you scaring all the audience? My God. So your audience should never fail that. Yeah, so even as being an audience, I don't want to feel that. Okay, so that's very important. So I don't want to feel going out of the, from the room. So when you're talking, I don't want you to face that kind of challenges, some 20, 30 people, getting up and going out of, walking out of the hall. My God, that is killing. So be prepared. So this is why this session is so important. Go through this session once again, second, third, or maybe you might send it to some of the people, who's a teacher or who's a speaker and want to become a speaker. So please use this. Today's session is very important. Yeah, so you need to know what to do, when, and what not to do in the stage. That is very important. So let the mistakes happen, that doesn't matter. That little bit of help and hardness, the control, it's very important. Don't rush, look around, take the moment. Don't rush for things to convey, you have a lot of things in your mind, don't rush to put it across everything. One, two, three, four, five, six, everything I have, everything, let me put it, but don't do that. Take a moment, take your time, don't rush. If you make a mistake, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Keep it going, keep the flow go, right? Mistake happens, let it happen. If mistakes are happening, it's good for you. You are doing mistakes, you know that, and you know the mistakes what you're doing. A lot of peak speakers, they do mistakes and they don't know what mistake they're doing, and they keep doing it continuously. Allow yourself to make mistakes. Yes, I did mistakes. Yeah, I know this is a mistake. Now I'm not going to repeat that again. See, this is very important. You need to. There is no such things like perfect speech. There is no such thing saying perfect speaker, perfect speech. Nothing is there. Everything is there. Is a development every time. The building of confidence is a root of being a good speaker. Understand this. Now let us talk about in detail about the sixth point. Write down. I think I have another last point. Like after sixth point, I have seventh point, and then I'm gonna stop my speech. Okay, I need to take a breath. Yeah. So yeah, now sixth point. Write down. Keep slides simple. I have seen people coming in with their slides to the open business networking coffee connect meet on the physical meetup, which we conduct in a world class ambience, in a world class business boardroom. Okay, so people, they come in and they come with their presentation slides. I've seen all these slides. So let us talk about this. Is also very important as being a speaker. When you use a presentation slides, especially on a business entrepreneurs, our open business networking members, they come to the coffee connect meet as a keynote speaker. Every single business on individuals, they come as a keynote speaker. They come there with their slides, they project their slides on the screen, and they talk about their business services, essentials of their services, the kind of the products. They go through in detail, slide by slide, and that's going to create a very good impact on people, right? So this is very important. Keep slides simple. If you are using your slides on your presentations, that's very important. Don't stuff PowerPoint slides full of too many words and too many images. Don't stuff it around, don't put a lot of things in it. Keep things very simple. If you're using text, that's very important. Have no more than four lines in a slide. or not more than 4 words in a line. You don't want to information to overload on it. Don't overload the information on the slide. It's very important. You don't want the information overload and, like, putting in all the information one particular slide, dumping everything. Don't do that. If there is too much of information, oh my God, no one knows your audience, no one knows, like, where to look at you, or look at slide, or look at what, where to, what to see, what to read, what they don't know. So don't do that, right? So speakers must not forget that PowerPoint slides are merely the supporting actor. It's just a supporting actor to you as a speaker, my friend. Understand? The slides are just a supporting actor for you, and it's gonna give some. When you're talking something, it's gonna create some visual impact on people. That's a supporting actor. Treat your slides as a supporting actor. Understand, right? So treat it in that way. So that's very important when it comes to presentation as being a speakers and all, like, you are the star. Understand this. Okay, so you shine on the stage, but follow all these things, you're gonna be a star for sure. Okay, now let us talk about the seventh point. Please write down. It's the last point what I'm going to talk about, this 7 points which I've made for you guys. So build confidence. Build confidence. So these things, I've been to AAC Central South. It's an Indian Army in Bangalore. So I've been there, and I gave this same presentation what I'm giving to you for more than 100 people. I gave this presentation for the army people, professionals, teachers who are training their their jawans, right? So I gave them this training, the same thing which I gave you the training. I gave these trainings for the army professionals, so in AAC Central South. So this is very important. Build confidence. The seventh point, in between also I spoke about it, but I made a separate point as a build confidence. So remember that presentation skills ultimately come down to confidence. So this is very important. You need to understand this. The building the confidence is it a root of your being as a good speaker, right? I told you this, right? So don't wait until you are forced to give a talk or take up opportunities, like, they're pulling you to go there and give them speech. You've been as some, like, guest to some of the event, or some you went as a guest to someone, like, sitting in a background, sitting in a chair, relaxed and seeing what's happening. And all of a sudden, like, one or two people, they come and they force you to come and talk. So please come and talk, sir, please come and talk, 1 minute, sir, please come and talk. And they forced you, and you don't go, you can't do anything. You have to come to the stage. If that kind of situation is come, what are you gonna do? Don't wait until you are forced to give a talk there on the stage. Take opportunities to speak out. So this is very important. Maybe you're not interested to become a speaker, but someone has pulled you to the stage to talk. So be prepared yourself. This is very important, right? Yeah. I hope you understand what I'm talking about. Like, so confidence takes time to build. It is a journey, my friend.